Hey everybody, it is February 3rd. Welcome to the Supply Chain Logistics Hub. Hope everyone had a good weekend. And if you don't know already, our current administration has just implemented tariffs that went into effect yesterday. And so I kind of want to talk to you about what that means, how that's affecting supply chains, right, and how it's going to affect you as the consumer. So when you think about a tariff, right, tariff, all that simply is an imposed tax, okay? So companies like China, Canada, and Mexico, which happen to be our biggest trading partners, right? We import goods from them, okay? And when they come in, we impose a tax or a tariff on those goods that come in there. So what the current administration has done is they've imposed these, and now what we're going to see happen is, and it's already being talked about with these other countries, where they're going to increase their prices. So they're going to pass that tax on to us, the consumer, okay? So it comes into the port, the tax is then paid, and then that gets passed off to the transport provider. They pay that. And then ultimately when it gets delivered to the shelves, okay, they're going to start figuring out what they need to do. That end consumer that paid for that tax is going to mark up that good because they're not going to eat it, right? So we're going to have to pay for it at the checkout counter. So why is this being done, okay? And really the driver behind it is the current administration wants to stop the flow of drugs and immigrants into this country. And so when you think about how this is affecting supply chains, right? In prior videos, we talked about January 15th, where we were looking at and advising companies to start bringing product in, okay, because of the possible strike at the ports, the East and Gulf ports. But now what you've also had, and we talked about this in prior videos as well, was advising companies to have inventory and bring it in sooner, again, in case of that longshore strike, in case of the tariffs that come into that are coming into play. So now these businesses are going to have to scramble, okay? They're going to have to pay those prices versus if they could bring in a little bit more stock prior, right? Build up their inventories, and that way they can kind of stretch it a little bit longer. Well, maybe not stretch is the best word, but be able to defer passing those costs off to the end customer. That certainly would be an option. But it looks like now that certain items, if you think about automotive, lumber, oil, gas, just any-day goods that we buy or that we consume from these other countries, now we're going to see an increase in price. So there's not really much you can do at this point. The damage is done, okay? So we're just going to have to see how this plays out within the market. But ultimately, it's just that tax now is going to be handled by the consumer. So supply chains are going to have to deal with it. They're going to have to make sure that their paperwork and their systems are updated so that way they can make sure they're paying those tariffs on that product coming in. And it's just getting processed to keep coming across the border because eventually, again, that's going to have to keep being shipped to the stores to fill the counters, shelves, etc., to make sure there's business continuity. However, it will be interesting to see if many of these companies or these consumers stand off and just say, you know what, we're not going to pay this, and product sits. Now, that could be a very interesting development. But for now, that's really what it is. We'll just have to wait and see how this plays out. I did see a latest headline where Mexico is looking to pause this for about a month because they're willing to bring additional border agents to help prevent the flow of fentanyl and migrants coming in and out. So again, Mexico has been taken care of at least for a month. There's been a reprieve there, but Canada and China are still kind of the wild card. So stay tuned. You know, don't feel free to ask questions. Don't forget to subscribe and like. You can always reach out to us on our website at hoffmansupplychainadvisors.com for how you might be able to weather these storms. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.